speak to Seun Denia. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Credo Limited. Joins us to share his thoughts on this. Good to have you on the program. Been a bit, but good to have you at this time. Seun, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, Nini. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes. So, I mean, I wanted to be so happy. We saw green, mostly green, like Ethereum was at 2008 plus yesterday, but it seems like the red is back, is coming back. We can still celebrate Bitcoin. But what's driving this green that we've seen in the last few trading sessions?
What we are seeing with cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, particularly today, is just not another speculative rally. It's responding to the same kind of global forces that we see that move, commodities like gold, other currencies, bonds, and institutional portfolios. So right now, what it is there's adoption. We can see that there's a lot of adoption. There's been some sentiments around the US debasing the US dollar, and then at times like this, people always try to look towards other kind of currencies or other kinds of assets. And of course, gold being some of them, and Bitcoin now has been increasingly available through the ETFs. And yes, we are seeing that move right now.
So are you referring to, we know the US Senate has been debating about some rules and all of that. I think they fixed Wednesday and all of that. Is that part of the driver?
Yes, that is also one of the drivers. There are rules that have been set. The president has been speaking to the Congress about creating better rules that will enable cryptocurrency companies or token issuers to be able to raise significant amount of capital from the open market. And that definitely is something that is a driving force and shows more confidence for the cryptocurrency markets within the US. And we believe it's global. So we're seeing the impacts globally.
Yeah, and I guess if this goes through in the United States, we can expect other countries to also become a little bit friendlier to crypto, because we've seen a lot of countries talk about regulation of that space.
Yes, and we see that even last week, our own Nigerian SEC also released new guidelines or additional guidelines to cryptocurrency regulation. Also, sometime last week, the NRS, which is Nigerian Revenue Service, also had a stakeholder engagement with all virtual assets and taxation of virtual assets. So we see that increasingly, even locally in Nigeria, there is more attention to digital assets from all sides of government. And we know that the Virtual Asset Regulatory Agency or Virtual Asset Regulatory Council, as it were, which is a combination of the CBN, the NRS, the SEC, and the Office of the NSA, they all come together to actually provide proper regulation for the Nigerian cryptocurrency space. But yeah, I think that's also one of the major drivers, as I know Nigeria is one of the big consumers or users of digital assets. So one of the SEC, NRS, everybody's talking about it. I believe we also played a part in this bull run.
It feels good that we can make it pass. but Seun, I mean, there was also part of it, I think it was last week, where the SEC has increased registration fee and stuff like that, about 30 million. What are reactions? What reactions are you getting on that?
There will always be reactions, both positive and negative. But the most important thing is that we need innovation and we need investor and consumer protection. And we also need to protect our financial integrity in Nigeria. So what the SEC is trying to do in a nutshell is not just raise the bar to reduce innovation, is to actually let people if people are not able to come up with there's also a 2 billion capital, for cryptocurrency exchanges. For people to harmonize, people to come together, because as it is still they are financial instruments in some way, and we need to be able to protect our people. So we need to ensure that smaller organizations who may have challenges with this, with coming up with those registration fees or with the capital base, they can all come together, merge and form larger organizations that will be proper, that can put together that capital, that can also be able to, at the end of the whole day, it's all about protecting investors and consumers, for investing investors and consumers. So I think there are a lot of people who are kicking back on it that yes, the entry level is too high, but the DG of the SEC has reiterated severally that these efforts are in order to protect the industry, protect consumers, and ensure that businesses who are coming into the fold have the required capital. Same way with the central bank, in terms of licensing for BDCs, for other businesses that require licensing and require financial transactions, there's usually some kind of capital deposit that is made. And this is not the SEC holding on to the money. It is you being able to show that you have this amount of capital in order for people to trust you, to be able to bring and trade their assets on your exchange.
So I guess you're one of those who believe that, I mean, the fact that we even have government attention gives credibility to that space. And so, I mean, but I mean, where do we go from here? Unfortunately, we've seen Ethereum has dropped compared to what it was yesterday. The peace talks not holding. But, of course, a lot of people are saying that the threat of economic sanctions on Iran seems to have been worse than the sanctions themselves. So markets and investors are coming down. What else do you see happening in the global space to affect sentiment in the crypto community?
The major thing is a lot of people are taking profit. Remember that these digital assets are readily available. People who have we've seen north of 30% growth in the past couple of days. Yes, people will take profit. The traditional investor probably doesn't see 30% in a year. So if people who have made some investments when the prices were low are seeing 30% in the space of 1 week, a lot of people will take profits. And of course, we also have other economic factors. But the major thing is, these assets are highly tradable. People will buy into them. People will take profits. And remember, we also have futures being traded. There are people who have also bet that they place future trades for the prices of these cryptocurrencies going up. And when we're in a bull market like that, everybody is probably facing 100x. And the market has to correct itself at some point. Otherwise,
I mean, what am I in the market for? I'm in the market to make money. So, I mean, when there's profit, I have to take. Thank you so much, Seun Daniel, the CEO of Crelo Limited.
Thank you very much, Jenny. Glad to be here.